Good afternoon, Jaguars. I'm Avery Davis, and welcome back to this week's episode of MVTV. In today's episode, we will continue to learn about COVID-19, the differences between corona and other illnesses, as well as many other events going on in November and much more. Let's get right into it. Just like how we all have our own friend groups at school, so do our very own teachers. Let's take a look into some of the teacher friendships here at Mill Valley.
Most adults have work friends, but when it comes to teaching, it's different and can expand beyond the workday. Let's talk to some of the staff here at Mill Valley to see how their friendships have grown.
We always typically play in the seniors versus staff basketball game that's in the spring. And kind of from that, we wanted to keep playing basketball.
We first built our relationship together. Ms. Heffernan, Mr. Bangle, and I worked pretty closely in the department. And then when Mr. Foster came to Mill Valley, we've had our little business pod up here.
So we started working together.
And I feel like every time I had a question, I would just go to her room.
Well, last year, pretty much at least once a week, we would play. And we play for about 45 minutes to an hour.
Some traditions that we have up here in our business department is we try to take a department photo every year. So when it comes that first day of school, when yearbook pictures are taken, we get together and take a family picture together.
I definitely think the first thing we did was Relay for Life.
Well, we Snapchat each other from our classrooms, definitely. And you can call that a tradition, right?
Yes, daily Snapchats.
It gives me another opportunity to know somebody else in another department. So it's been an educational thing besides just a friendship.
I think the fact that we can talk to each other and sometimes we eat lunch with each other, it makes working up here and teaching more enjoyable.
We also try to see each other every day, like pop in the morning or during plan.
A quick check-in.
I hope my coworkers and I get along that well in the future. This has been Eden Schenker reporting for MVTV.
Thanks, Eden. I'm glad to know that our teachers are still able to have fun after a crazy school day. With everything going on, a lot of you may have forgotten about clubs. Let's head to reporter Amanda Mills with more information about a new club called Sunrise Shawnee.
Here at Mill Valley, many students have been involved in a national organization here in Shawnee called Sunrise that raises awareness for climate change. I talked to two of the coordinators, Claire Burke and Taylor Doyle, to learn more about it.
So Sunrise is a national group of students and the youth who are fighting for climate justice along with other organizations and movements.
Sunrise is a movement made up of young people fighting to create good jobs and a Green New Deal, which is essentially a framework of legislation meant to move our country into an age of climate prosperity, essentially.
So this group is extremely important to me because I can see the passion in each student who's involved with it, but also me having my specific passions for climate justice and being able to have all the resources that I need that Sunrise National provides. It's just having a little family and a group of people who believe the same thing as you.
So far we've started our meetings and we've done a banner drop, which is we made this huge banner saying Green New Deal now. And we went on the little light bridge that goes over K7, and everyone kind of talked, we sang songs, we talked about why this mattered to us, and then we dropped it over the edge.
People can join by following our Instagram, Sunrise Movement Shawnee, and then they can just DM us or reach out to Ben, Claire, and I, and we'll help get you involved with our GroupMe, and then you can just come to our meetings and join our actions whenever you're available.
Be sure to join Sunrise if you're interested in getting the word out and involving more people in the prevention of climate change. This has been Amanda Mills reporting for MVTV.
Thanks, Amanda. What's going to be even more crazy is cold and flu season during COVID-19. Let's see what reporter Cooper Getch has to say about the differences between the common cold, the flu, and corona.
Those of us who suffer from seasonal allergies or a common cold don't normally look forward to the seasons changing. Thanks to COVID-19, every cough, sneeze, and sniffle has become a reason for us to worry. Before, we used to say it was a common little cold. Now we jump to the conclusion that it's COVID. I'm here to inform you about the differences between seasonal allergies or a cold to coronavirus. COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a newly discovered coronavirus. According to the CDC, most people with COVID-19 may experience a wide range of symptoms, these being fever and chills, muscle and body aches, loss of taste or smell, or nausea and vomiting. COVID-19 and seasonal allergies share many symptoms, but there are key differences between the two. Seasonal allergies triggered by airborne pollen can lead to an itchy nose, eyes, and throat, while COVID-19 can cause aches and pain or shortness of breath, which is not a common symptom of seasonal allergies. While you may feel miserable when having a cold, the symptoms are mild compared to more aggressive viruses like the flu or COVID-19. A cold can cause any or all of these symptoms: runny or stuffy nose, sneezing, or a sore throat. The seasonal flu is active and generally comes on fast and furious. It's a common respiratory infection caused by a virus that affects your nose, lung, and throat. Here are some common symptoms of the flu: aches and pains, headaches, and a fever. Symptoms vary from person to person, but if yours continue to get worse instead of better, consider seeking medical attention. This has been Cooper Getch reporting for MVTV.
Thanks, Cooper. In other news, there's a lot coming up that we can all look forward to. One of my favorite months, November, has a lot to offer in particular. Reporter Christine Turner brings us all the national holidays of the month.
When you think of holidays in November, you most likely think of Thanksgiving and Black Friday, but there are so many other fun holidays during this month. Let's take a look into some of the holidays that go on during November.
Starting off the month, we have National Authors Day on November 1st. To celebrate this holiday, you can curl up next to a fire, drink some hot chocolate or coffee, and read a good book. This is a day of appreciation for all the hard work authors put into their craft. The next holiday goes out to all the single ladies and gentlemen. National Singles Day on November 11th. It's a day to show your pride in being single. Go treat yourself to your favorite foods in a relaxing bubble bath, or watch your favorite movie. On November 13th, it's World Kindness Day. Everyone is encouraged to spread kindness and positivity. Kindness spreads, so go rake your neighbor's lawn or give a family member a hug. November 17th is National Homemade Bread Day. The best way to celebrate this holiday is to bake some delicious warm bread. Our last holiday is National Adoption Day on November 21st. National Adoption Day raises awareness of the over 100,000 kids in foster care. The best way to celebrate this holiday is to reach out to someone you know who is adopted and/or help educate yourself on the subject.
There are so many holidays I didn't even know existed. Which holidays will you be participating in this November? This has been Christine Turner reporting for MVTV.
Up next, we have a student spotlight on Molly Smith and how she makes jewelry.
A few weeks ago, reporter Avery Davis showed us how junior Hadley Root began making jewelry and earrings for her friends and family during quarantine. However, another student at Mill Valley took up a similar passion and chose to turn it into a business. I talked to senior Molly Smith and asked how she's turning her passion into a company.
I created my company about a month ago, and I started making jewelry over the summer. I decided to start my jewelry company because I just really like little necklaces and earrings, and I feel like I can never find anything that I like or that's cheap enough. And so I decided to just go to different craft stores and thrift shops and just find things that I liked and then make them for myself. Right now I only sell necklaces and earrings, and I may make some tie-dye masks, or I've been painting CDs. I have a whole line of Halloween and fall jewelry. I sell all of my products on my Instagram page. It's called ms.jewelry company, and most of the earrings are $5 and most of the necklaces are $7, and if it's like a set you can get it for $10. It's like, honestly, I was inspired by some other people doing thrifting accounts on their Instagram. I found some girl from Northwest and I'm like, wow, if I found her, then imagine who could find me, and how many people I could reach just with the jewelry that I'm making in my room.
Make sure to check out ms.jewelry company on Instagram to view her new line of fall jewelry and maybe buy a pair of earrings. This has been Kylie Overbaugh reporting for MVTV.
It's so interesting that so many students are creating their own businesses. As many of you know, Mr. Words has a lot of great advice. He's going to start sharing his wisdom with us in a new segment, Words of Advice. Let's take a look.
I think we could all use some wise words of wisdom during these crazy times. Here are some words of advice with the all-knowing Mr. Wirtz. Take notes, Jags.
Advice number 1, celebrate the small things. Canvas does. No matter how good or bad the assignment is, you can celebrate with that confetti because it's submitted. Advice number 2, look at the bright side of life. Finding a parking spot is much easier this year. Advice number 3, when nothing goes right, go left. Unless if you're in the lunchroom, then go whichever way Dr. Holder tells you to go. Advice number 4, an obstacle is often a stepping stone. Unless the obstacle is reading a hybrid calendar, then it's more like a boulder. Advice number 5, tough times never last, but tough people do. We love you, Mill Valley, and you matter.
Thank you for the wonderful words of advice, Mr. Wirtz. This has been Maddie Williams reporting for MVTV.
Thanks, Maddie. Next up, let's head to Lexi with the recap of this week's sports, followed by weather with Alyssa.
Good afternoon, Jaguars, and welcome back to this week's sports segment. I'm Lexi Clays. To kick things off, our boys soccer team took on St. James on October 29th here at home. With goals from senior Cale Denny and sophomore Toby Cornish, the boys brought home a regional championship. The boys then took on Aquinas at Aquinas on Tuesday, November 3rd. The boys gave it their all, but they unfortunately lost 0-1, ultimately ending their season. Despite this loss on Tuesday, the boys still had an amazing season. Congrats, boys. The football team has had a 2-week bye. They play Friday, November 6th here at home against Spring Hill. Make sure to dress warm and come support our Jags. The cross-country team competed at state on October 31st. The boys placed 3rd while the girls placed 4th, with junior Katie Skorskoff placing 2nd. Congrats on a great season, Jags. That's all for this week's sports segment. This has been Lexi Clays reporting for MVTV. Have a great long weekend, Jags.
Good afternoon, Jaguars. It's Alyssa Canning here with your weekend weather update. On Friday, there will be a high of 74 and a low of 51. Good luck to the boys varsity football team who's playing at home. The game starts at 7 and the theme is camo. On Saturday, there will be a high of 74 and a low of 52. And finally, on Sunday, there will be a high of 74 and a low of 62. Thanks so much for watching. I can't wait to see you next week. This has been Alyssa Canning reporting for MVTV.
Thanks, guys. To wrap up this week's episode, let's head to our Reporter Highlights series to learn more about a featured MVTV staff member.
I'm Danny Talavera, and my favorite part of broadcast is Dorothy Swafford. I think cereal is not a soup, because who goes to Panera and orders cereal?
That's all for this week's episode. Thanks for watching and stay warm, Jags. I'm Avery Davis reporting for MVTV. Please stay tuned for the credits.